Welcome to Zone 6. We have Chelsea special. The second one in like 6 months, but like it seems like there's always something going on in this club. So let's just get straight into it. We have a guest that hasn't been on the podcast before, the TheBluesBarbie. I'm just gonna start with you because after we lost last game,
Oh
you
my
tweeted something that I really like just wanted to ask you to either like come back and like back fully or like just say I'm sorry. But you said, Poch, I knew you weren't the man for the job. This loss is on you. Do you actually believe that Poch is not the man for the job? Like seriously speaking.
If I'm being 1,010% honest, I never wanted Poch. Like, he was not my first choice. But I will say he's tried. He's done okay. He's done his thing. So maybe in the heat of the moment, I was angry. I said something. But then I do think the loss was mostly on him. Like, that lineup should not have been a thing. He should not have done that. So I personally think most of the responsibilities on him. But I do think he is the right man for the job at this moment in time.
First, to be fair, I get the lineup thing because for the whole preseason, Chelsea played with a back four. I don't get this whole we start Prem now and it's back to like a back five every game. Like
Thiago
what?
Silva.
Back four.
Nah,
No,
he
it's
doesn't
not.
play back fours. Don't tell me that Chilwell wing
Stop.
thing. Don't tell me
Stop.
that
Stop,
Chilwell wing
Well,
man.
thing.
winger
This is
thing is
what I'm.
the
This,
That
this
dumbest
is
thing
what
in
I'm
Chilwell
the
wing
saying.
thing.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about. Guys, they should say I'm a tactical guy. If you watch, especially if you watch the Liverpool game, how many defensive actions did you see Chilwell make?
Yeah, but like I
He
feel like
wasn't.
it
He
takes
was
away
not.
from
He was.
the
He
job.
was not playing. He was not playing like wing back or left back. He was actually playing left wing, which is also. By the way, that stinks. That stinks. By the way, he's not meant to be playing left wing. That stinks. So it's still Poch's. That still stinks. But I'm just saying that he's
Yeah.
not a back. Actually, a
Do you
back
know
four.
why? Do you know what? Do you know why? Do you know why it's a foolish back four? Because it's not a back. It's not. It's this in and out of possession thing that he broke down in preseason, and it's like you have Thiago Silva, Disasi, and Colwell. Those are three silver. It doesn't matter how you put it. In a back four, why are there three centre backs?
No,
Yeah.
but at the same time though, like
No, no.
it
Simple question:
makes
why are
sense.
there three centre backs in a back four?
Colwell at left back can make sense if Chilwell is not the left wing
That's the
because
whole point. So why is he playing
Yeah.
I
a?
So
understand.
why is
Col-
Chilwell
I
playing?
Why is he
understand.
playing a defensive left back with a left back at wing? If
No,
anything, then
because
he should only be playing wingers if he was going to play Colwell at left
no,
back.
yeah, that's where I think he's wrong. But like Colwell at left back
It's
makes
still
sense
on
just with
him.
his passing
I
range,
don't,
like
yeah,
affording
I
him.
don't think Colwell. I don't think Colwell is
Paul
terrible
at
at left
left
back.
back, I don't think it
I see.
works.
No, it
I
works. It's like
saw
Ben
it
White.
in
It's like Ben
no,
White at right
I
back.
saw it in person. Colwell left back does
I
not make
don't
sense.
I don't think it works. I
It
just
I
feel
makes
think
like
he's too slow. I think he's too slow. He's not as agile. Like he's not
No,
agile enough to play left
I
back, in
genuinely
my
think it can
opinion.
work. You have to understand that like
But I think he can work.
as a left back, like your capabilities as playing left back, like a lot of it depends on who's at left wing
Who's our
because
left wing at the team
left
around you? That's what
winger,
I think.
the way the left winger operates dictates like the angles that you can pass to
Angle you can pass to.
and all those kind of things. So when you have like a donkey like Chilwell at left wing, like it's
Exactly. You can't do anything.
because
That's what I'm saying.
think about it like Cole is like an extremely like elite passer on his left foot. Like on that left back, you should be able to get a bit more better angles to make more like direct and threatening passes. But because he doesn't have somebody that really like has a high like Chilwell doesn't really have
IQ. He
or
doesn't
like
have an IQ
like
player.
all he
He
just has to do
doesn't.
is make
Even
like
Modric.
inverted
Modric. If
runs.
Modric.
He just has to make inverted runs. That's really it. So like I
If
think
Mo,
that I feel like the thing could work if Chilwell wasn't the left wing, but I think Chilwell at left wing gimmick. I think it stinks. Like I think it needs to stop.
if Modric's IQ was higher, that it could work too as well. Modric is just so raw, but
Yeah,
Sterling is now clearly being integrated on the right, and that's why I agree with her that Poch right now to me is a man that is in a difficult position because going into the season, and I watched our preseason games and I analyzed them extensively. Like I watched our preseason games fully, and I was very excited watching our preseason games because I saw patterns of play that I hadn't seen in a very, very long time at Chelsea. But coming into the season, it's like they dissolved so quickly once we lost certain figures and once
Yeah,
certain things were moved around. A
yeah,
player I don't understand who had so much significance in preseason that's been phased out completely almost is Matson. He seemed to have grown quite fond of Matson in preseason, integrating him from the right side, the middle, even a bit through the left. And then it's like we've seen absolutely nothing of Matson so far this season. I
Matson
would like to
played.
see some
He came on in the Liverpool match.
Yeah,
at
but
the
he should have.
end.
No, but he should
Yeah,
At
have.
the end,
but I won't lie. I won't lie. When he came on, he did rubbish. He
Yeah,
did
he
but
didn't
no,
do anything. Yeah, but like
yeah,
I don't
he
really.
didn't play. He played him. You know, Matson played really well for us in preseason when he played Cam, and he hasn't played
yeah,
Cam since.
Yeah,
exactly.
When this guy got
that's what I'm saying.
when Mudryk came on for Chukwemeka, I think. Oh, did Mudryk come on for Chukwemeka?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it was.
Matson should have come on instead of Mudryk. I think.
Yeah. I hear that. I hear that. I
But
kind of
like,
like. I feel like Poch doesn't really have many excuses at the end of the season based on the signings that we have made. So let's go on to our captain, Reece James, because I think Reece James is the best right back in the world on his
I'm
day.
going. To,
My question is just like, how many days does this guy have? Like,
I want to
he's
start.
injured, he's in and out.
I'm going to start. I'm going to start with a bomber. I personally don't think he should have been the captain of this team.
Oh my god, that is not. That's just. I hate when people say that
I'm
because it
sorry.
makes
I just
no
don't think he can
sense.
be the captain of this team.
It makes
Also,
So
no
who would
sense.
you know
who
the thing?
have
Who
now
should
He
have been
put
is.
captain?
Listen. And let me tell you why I say this. Rich James is Chelsea's captain. Rich James is Chelsea's captain, but Rich James is not Chelsea's captain. Because at the end of the day, like with like Poch said, Thiago Silva is a captain without the armband,
Yeah.
which is one thing he doesn't need. Like we all know he's old and he's leaving soon, so he doesn't even need the armband. There's no other figure in this club that's more representative of Chelsea. But I just feel like Rich James is just our captain. Is he really wearing the armband on pitch if he's never available? Chilwell is going to end up being our captain more times than him if he doesn't work on him being on the pitch.
So
So
who would you have now given the captain number? And
You know,
Enzo.
there's more to being a captain and just obviously on the pitch is important,
Thank
but you know,
you.
Exactly.
He's
but
way
that's what I'm
more than
saying.
being
I
available.
know, I know it's behind the scenes as well.
behind
Like
the
I was
scenes.
thinking about the locker room, but Father Enzo, you
How
know,
can you
back there.
can't even speak
Enzo
English?
came in
And
I
jam.
why
know, I know.
English?
Enzo
He can't
came
speak
in
English.
jam. Like,
He
guys,
can't speak English. But
Although
Enzo is going to start every
Enzo
game for a long time, so that's
yeah.
just the
I
thing.
feel
Yeah.
I
Enzo
would
is going
hear
to
it.
play for a very long time. He can't speak English. If he could speak English, he would make chance because he's going to play every game.
Also, like
yeah,
he has a bit of like passion and authority in his game. Like he's
yeah.
yes, but I
Yeah.
honestly feel like out of everyone, Reese was the best choice. I
No,
feel
Reece
like
is the best choice.
anyone can make like the only thing people have to say is that he gets injured a lot. But personally, I don't think that is enough to say, oh, somebody else should have been captain.
Yeah,
Especially,
you're right.
yeah,
I just think he's lucky that there's no one else that it could have been. Cause
Yeah.
like
yeah, that's true.
like this guy doesn't play enough games. Like Reece James again, I think is the best right back in the world. But like availability really matters, and his lack of it is a very big issue. I even
also it's
saw some people saying that we should sell him to Madrid the same way we sold Hazard for 100 then before Hazard became finished. Because
Nah.
guys do not think Reece
No,
James can play 5 games in a row, and it's
We
established.
have Gusto. We have Gusto though.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he hasn't taken. He's meant to do it. He was meant to do like a knee surgery that he just not or
bro,
something like that.
and that's
Because
what doesn't make sense. Last season, as we saw, we were going to lose every game till the end of the season. The guy should have done the surgery then
That's what he was doing though.
during summer, but
That's what he did.
he doesn't want to do the surgery. He
that's
still
what
hasn't done it. He still hasn't done it because he
He
doesn't.
hasn't done
But you know
surgery. He
why?
doesn't.
But you know the thing is,
But he's getting different injuries though, because this is not even his knee.
His
This was
hamstring
his
is hamstring.
hamstring. So I don't even know. Like it's like his whole leg is just done. I don't know.
It's as well. Like no offense.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
I think he's just too big,
but
man.
you know,
yeah.
Another thing in general is I feel like the Chelsea medical staff, all of
Yeah.
them need to get fired. They need to get binned.
Ever since that babe left, I was telling
Yes.
Jesse,
Yeah,
ever
but
since
like,
that babe left, too many
but
injuries.
I think if you blame somebody, it's more to do with the coaches and the medical staff because, like, realistically, like for instance, he got injured in training. Pochettino's like training style is much like Bielsa's, where it's like heavy volume, like a lot of fitness, like is a lot of like it's very physically tasking. And I feel like the blame for like injuries outside of matches is more on the coaching staff than it is on the medical staff because the medical staff are there to like rehabilitate, not to like prevent. If that makes sense, like it's the coaching staff that it's the regime of the coaching staff that would cause the injuries especially in training. That's why he got injured. Like it'll be
But
Yeah,
it's
but I'm saying
it's not just Poch. Under Tuchel we had injuries. Under Potter we had
yeah,
injuries.
it
We
was.
have
I'm not
always had
saying.
injuries.
I think across all three of them, maybe it's just like their style of thingy.
I'm
But
thinking that I have to say that definitely the medical staff has to bear some responsibility as well because whatever they're doing is not working. Maybe they need to be training with some of the inputs made given by the medical staff, saying that whatever they say is okay to train with, then that's how they should train or something like that. Because personally, we've only had 2 games in the season and we have 9 people
9
injured.
injuries. It's crazy.
That doesn't make any
Crazy.
sense.
Moji plays what 30 minutes in 2 games and then he picks up a training injury for what?
But I think that's natural because they said end of last season that our team was like extremely unfit, and
Yeah.
like this whole thing is that like his teams are always very fit. So I feel like part of the reason why the injuries, all these training injuries are also coming is just kind of like a slight adjustment because like your body when your body just gets overextended like that out of nowhere when you're used to apparently under Potter and Lampard like we were extremely unfit.
Yeah.
So like maybe that's just part of it. Maybe like just like teething. What's that thing called? Like teething problems.
Growing pains, yeah.
So let's go on to the next talking points. I've been seeing a lot of guys talking about this back four P and how Thiago Silva cannot play in a back four. Do you guys agree with this P? Because initially I wasn't hearing it, but like I can't lie, I'm starting to hear this P. I'm actually starting to hear it.
It's true, but like it's overstated. It's overstated a little bit. Like people, I wouldn't go as far as saying as he's a liability. The only reason why he would be a liability, it's just a matter of like it's just natural. Like he's like 39. Naturally, like he's meant to be phased out at this point in time in his career. Anyways, like having a 39-year-old starting in your center back partnership in a high paced league where you're playing a high line, like expecting him to like be able to keep up in every aspect of defending in that setup is just like unrealistic. Anyways, so I won't really say it's a liability. I think it's just like life. Like he shouldn't be starting. He shouldn't really be starting like at this
You
point.
know, my issue is with this entire Thiago Silva discourse. What you said completely makes sense. Like, yes, he's 39, so why is he still starting? That's common sense. But in real life, that's not the way it goes. Like, he is not somebody that when you see him play, he's not a liability in the slightest. He thinks really quickly, so he's able to anticipate what people do before they do it, and he cleans up fast. So to me, he's our best CB. And I don't care that he's 39. I don't care that he's 45. I don't give a shit. If you're the best on the pitch, then you're the best. So you should play. And
The
I feel
reason
like just say that because he's old and they're looking for somebody to point at. But he was not the worst CB on Saturday that we played. So like, I don't
I,
know.
I get what you mean. Like you're right. Like, but like the reason why the only correct discourse about why he's a liability is because not what he does on the field necessarily, but because of how his profile affects how he sets up. That's the only like valid explanation. If somebody says that he's a liability because he's trash when they watch him, that's just not really entirely true. But
Yeah.
what it is that like it affects how the manager sets up the team because
We're playing the back five because of him, essentially.
you have to account for the fact that you have a like quite immobile, even though he's very good, like he's immobile, like he can't move as quickly as others.
So
Like
He
and when you
can't.
account
That's the
for that,
problem. High line. They're saying he can't respond to the high line. They're
yeah,
saying
and
that he's not adapted.
once you have to account for that, then like one could argue you're a liability. But the thing is that like realistically, my opinion, the reason why I don't think it's a liability is that like I feel like if in your crop of center backs, one center back is dictating you changing your setup, then it's quite hard for you to then justify calling him a liability because realistically just like leave him on the bench. Like
yeah.
it's not that hard. Like
So if we play the back four, which two centre backs would you ideally play?
Should I be honest with you? I think Thiago is being phased out. As far as what I've seen right now, Chalobah is better than Disasi at defending, but Disasi is better than Chalobah significantly on the ball. So we're going to have a dilemma there on that right centre back side
All
while
right,
Fofana
center
is
back should be
injured.
Fofana, but
He's
Fofana
going
can.
to, but Fofana is not a player. He's going to be injured for
If
the rest of his
we're
life.
talking based off of when everybody's fit, it's for Fana and Badiashile for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me
Personally.
For
too.
me,
Or
run.
Fofana and Colwell. Or
Now,
Fofana
why
and
can't we
Colwell.
should do double left foots like Badiashile and Colwell? Like, why is that not allowed?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think
No,
That's what
I
I
don't
think.
see
I
I
I
don't
think
don't
think
it's
that's
see
not allowed.
Badiashile
I
and
just don't
Cole.
like Will.
I don't think Cole.
I feel like
I haven't seen it yet. I
I don't
like
like that.
Cole, but I like Cole. I just haven't. I need to see him at his best. That's my point.
I
Like for
now
now,
know
I've seen Badiashile like not yet at his best, and I've seen Cole not yet at his best. And for me, Badiashile is quite better right now from what I've seen. Badiashile doesn't step a foot wrong on the pitch.
Badiashile older.
Badiashile doesn't step a foot wrong on the pitch when I've seen him. Barely.
Don't
He's
say
had a
that.
few.
Don't say
No,
But his
no,
that.
sample,
He made a
he
couple
has had a
mistakes
few
last
mistakes.
year.
My bad. He made a
his
couple
sample size is so
mistakes last
small.
year.
His sample
He
size
made a
is
couple mistakes last year, but still, like my point essentially is that like he steps into the game very comfortably for a centre back
Yeah.
without like much prem
I think,
experience.
yeah, I think we should run up double left. Like, also, because Badiashile is like he's kind of good with he's kind of competent with his right foot.
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
double left footed centre
The
backs.
double left can run if Colwell and Buddy actually are those guys, but I'm not ruling out the Sassy yet. But I can't lie, in that game against West Ham, I visually saw all the problems like the fans were talking about before he came, which is
Yeah.
they said he's slow on the turn, and he's kind of like he's not his IQ is questionable on the defending. Like
yeah,
he
kinda.
he
Yeah.
he's like he doesn't track his man when he's at the back post. Sometimes he doesn't. He lets people get in behind him sometimes.
It's
Like
just
he may
he's
not be the best.
a bit physically
Yeah,
inferior.
he may
For
not be
reason.
athletic. Yeah, he may not be
Especially for a back.
athletically.
Yeah,
Almost
look
like
how
him.
big he is. Look how
Yeah,
anti he is.
he's like Maguire-esque. He's like
Yeah, but I think
Maguire-esque.
but he did play well against Liverpool, so you have to
He
give him
did
time.
play well in the second half against
Well,
Liverpool. I like the way he settled into the game, and he's a very progressive passer. Like I noticed that once he has the ball, he looks forward, and for a centre back, that's a very good trait because
Also,
he breaks the line.
he's humongous. He's like the biggest
Yeah,
person ever.
in the air,
three and Polo.
in the air, he's quite big in the air. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking about new signings, the next question is which signing are you most excited for this season?
it has to be Caicedo for me. It just has to be Caicedo. I'm a huge fan of Caicedo because I used to play midfield. I'm a medio centro myself, and it's just like the 8, the 6 is like it's an art, and like I feel like Caicedo is just a player who understands the
Yeah, what you
brilliance of
good
the
at? What you good
position.
at football when you played?
Yeah, I feel like when I was in medio centro, I was a controller.
Oh, okay.
Caicedo has some traits that I never had in my game though, which is like that Kante speed boost. You know, he has that Kante acceleration, that second wind, and I feel like that's what separates him from the average player. That makes his profile that much more unique and more valuable to us because he's really going to give our midfielders, whoever plays with him, an additional level of comfort, kind of like Kante did whenever he was in the midfield. And I feel like that's where Chelsea fans are going to be the most excited for him, for
Who do
sure.
you think would be more important to Chelsea this season, Enzo or Caicedo?
I think Enzo, but that's only because Caicedo is going to be Caicedo. I don't know. Caicedo is going to be very important because we've needed him. His profile has been what Chelsea fans have been decided for a while, but I feel like the both of them are going to have to be as important because now Enzo is going to have no excuse. Like we've seen him in that Liverpool game. Oh my word, that was me. I just tuned in. I was just all the way locked into his performance. Absolutely progressive football. He was thinking forward. He was splitting the lines. He was taking on Liverpool players. He was even getting a bit, Joga Bonito with it. And that was him, like, getting comfortable. And I just need to see that from him this season consistently. I want him to emulate Fabregas. That's the player, like, I want him to be for us. I want him to be our Fabregas. So I feel like with Caicedo playing that key DM role, he can really be great this season. So he has to push for those heights, match that
So,
value. Yeah.
and which signing in the last year are you most like scared of? Like this guy's going to leave the club next year. Because I've been seeing guys saying Mudrik is finished already. Like I
Nah,
just
Modric.
think he needs time. I just think he needs games, and I feel like he
Ah,
will
yeah.
be our best left winger for
That's I'm actually
that we
scared
have
for.
had in a while.
I'm
Honestly,
scared for Noni. Can't lie.
For Noni,
Even though I think he's a
I'm scared
baller,
for
but
Nani.
that's
just
a
kind of
good
I'm scared
shout.
for Nani.
Good for him too. Now that you say it,
That's somebody I'm scared
wow,
for.
I
Noni
think
is
Especially
he's
my
good.
after we were
boy.
linked, especially after how easily we were linked with Olise this summer. Like when Olise things just popped up like that,
yeah,
we're ready to sign him. It's like
Someone like Mudrik, because like his profile is just so insane. Like it's quite hard for you to like genuinely like believe in his downfall because realistically, as long as he gets a good coach to like handle him, like the profile that he has as a winger, like he has a lot of star power. But with Noni's like the way Noni his play style and stuff, like it just kind of feels like he can end up to be like one of those like
it can be
those
like Cho.
players,
It can be like Cho. It
not as
can
bad
be
as
like Cho.
you know
Not
those
as bad
players
as
they
Cho.
always those players that they always say like they're good, but just one like like they just
yeah.
one like obviously he
For
can beat his man
example,
and stuff like that, but like his shot is bad, like his
under
end products.
21 World Cup, under 21 World Cup with England, I expected so much more from him when it came to that final third productivity. It's
He
like
even
I
start.
watched. He started. He played a
He
few games.
started
Then they
like the
benched.
first half
Then
of
they
the
benched
game, but
him.
like
They
the
benched
second
him
half
for
was
Cole.
the
They
bench.
benched him for Cole Palmer. Cole
Yeah.
Palmer showed him levels. That was the whole
I
point.
mean, like, just have
So,
that kind of like, he needs to
so
like kind of
it
press
was
on with
like
it.
you could see the difference once they brought Cole Palmer into the team in that under 21 team, and it was like even like it's just that final third
Yeah,
production. He's so below par, like
that's fine.
and
Yeah,
his especially for his one-on-one ability. Like imagine someone that like can complete a dribble so well, and then you get to the final third, and then like your cross is literally getting blocked 90% of the time, or put
all the
out
time.
for a corner, first man every single time.
Yeah, his shots
So
are unconvincing. Like
his
anytime he
shots
shoots,
are very unconvincing. I haven't seen him score any one of those proper goals since Ajax. I mean, sorry, PSV. With PSV, since he was in
okay.
PSV.
Yeah.
Nicholas Jackson, for example, he came in and he hit the ground running. Everybody's excited about him. Everybody's gassed. Not how many other players have done that?
Still have 100% faith in Nico Jackson.
Exactly. So, how many
But I
players
don't
have
get
done that
why
at
Chelsea now
Chelsea?
want to get like Balogun and like all these guys. Like I
But
don't.
they don't need
That's
dead
like that. I don't understand. Why are
like,
these dead ballers, bro? Brennan Johnson and them, man. Like, who are
Brennan
all
Johnson
these?
one was pissing me off, Carla.
Oh, trash. Guy Balogun is a
Uh,
baller.
Bro,
Balogun
but
is a baller, but
we
he's
won't
not
need
what we
him
need.
for
We
50
or
we
like
million.
lit-
For
literally
50
we
million, we
have
won't need him.
We have Nico
what
Jackson. He's
how much of a difference
22.
is Balogun to Nico
They are the
Jackson?
same. They are the
Exactly.
same age. They are the same
Yeah, but
age.
the difference is, I think the difference reason why someone might go, Nico Jackson, like obviously is early, so I'm gonna obviously I like him a lot by the way, but the guys kind of give me those vibes of
Not
like
lethal scorer.
when someone comes and like obviously they're balling, but they're doing everything but scoring, and they just actually
Yeah.
dead ass never score. Like but he always
Whiskey.
balls, never scores.
No,
I promise
no,
you, if Nkunku was playing right now, he would be
he
scoring.
would be
Yeah,
scoring
but that's the issue. That's the
exactly.
issue. But that's the issue. Nkunku's
I
not playing
agree.
until January. Like,
Exactly.
But
bro,
he's
That's
22. He's 22. He has time between now
he
and January.
literally if
He's
Ikuku
young.
was here, he would have scored by
He would
now.
have scored by now, 100%. Look at
that's
them,
the
the way,
that's
bro.
the
Even look at the way they linked up in preseason. And wait, do you know the thing that's making everybody forget? He scored in preseason, or like he scored some.
Yeah,
He
he
had a
was
couple
scoring
decent
some good
finishes.
goals as he
Just
was
calm
going.
down.
And
Like,
Poch actually made mention of that because of without Nkunku, the team is struggling a bit to score because he was one of those
isolation.
people that helped with that a
And
lot.
I feel like that AM role is going to be more important to us this season than what I'm thinking because
Yes,
Poch actually brought the importance of it back.
Yeah, the last part of this podcast was just to finish off by explaining our expectations for Chelsea this season. After all the money and all the injuries too, like what do you guys think Chelsea's going to do this
We
season?
have to qualify for Champions League. I think that's bare minimum. So I put us in top. I think Chelsea and Pochettino and them, from the way they've been speaking, I don't think anyone in that dressing room is expecting less than top four. But if
Yeah,
the top
Champions
five are going to champs, I know that's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody is expecting less than top four. But if Champions League is top five and we come fifth, then something.
Personally,
but they
top
shouldn't be
four
proud.
for me.
Yeah, top 4 for me personally is bare minimum. But
If we come fifth and we still get champs, will you be upset or?
I mean, that's
I would be disappointed, but it's Champions League. I
Yeah.
would be disappointed to be
I
fifth,
think
but
if
it's
they make it,
Champions
five,
League.
if they make it, I think because of how hard the league is, if they make top 5 Champions League, the top 4 should not exist again. It should just be top 5.
Anyways, I guess we've decided that the least that can happen with Chelsea this season is to finish in Champions League, and I hope we can come back to this video and actually be calm because if Chelsea finish outside top 5 after all the money that we have spent, like I actually
That's
don't
calm.
know what more to
That's
say.
calm, though. I also have a question. If we don't make Champions League places, are you Poch out?
Probably,
It depends on how the season goes.
probably.
Yeah,
No,
it
no,
depends.
no, no, no,
It
no.
depends on how
Let-
the season goes.
Bro,
Huh?
based on the signings that we have made,
See,
he has no reason to not
see,
come
if
top 4.
if
Bro,
Poch,
our
if,
no, don't say just Caicedo,
wait,
Lavia.
if
Bro, we
no,
have
if
there is no
if
reason
Poch,
for Chelsea to
wait,
not finish top
if
4,
Poch,
top
but
5.
wait, if Poch hypothetically coaches a 3-0 every game and the players let him down to that extent, I'll forgive him.
Okay, also because you have to understand, for example, guy against West Ham, like we should have won, like as per like
Yeah,
That is my
exactly.
point. And we lost that. Even if we didn't draw that
Exactly.
game, we
Yeah, that
lost
was
3-1. We could have easily won that game.
Yeah.
so
That's
like
the whole point.
technically
Enzo scores that
technically
penalty.
he coached
And
a win.
he
I
coached
wouldn't
the
want a
win.
bad he
But
coached a win.
but you know the thing, he also played the wrong formation. But we could have won the game. That's the mark of a good coach. But then we lost.
Yeah.
So you see, where does the blame come from? So I agree with Torreira like 100% that most of my blame on that game went to him. Because to me, I just don't think we should have gone in with the back three. I felt like it was a comfort thing from the Liverpool game because the second half of Liverpool was a great performance in my opinion, and I think we showed a lot of comfort and we dictated the game. Obviously, if you dictate the game against a side like Liverpool, as a manager like Pochettino, you're going to feel comfortable in those players and be like, let them go at it again. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's what he did. But to me, I feel like he should have just tweaked the system a little bit. Now, for the rest of the season, I want him to go in and pick his most confident lineup. I don't want none of that the Potter stuff, Lampard stuff that we've seen. I want him to pick his best teams, teams that he knows will perform at a level and not play safe. Let these players get the best out of them. If you know Mudryk needs time and you want him to get the time, play him. Everybody knows what we need to do.
Quite frankly, it's gonna
Just
be
do it.
line if we don't.
Like,
So
play him.
You guys should be calm though. We finish third regardless, so it's calm. Trust.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think Chelsea are going to come third, but
I think we'll come
let's see how the
second.
season
But
goes.
that's
second is
Second is
right.
tough. Arsenal and Man City.
Second
Omo.
is tough.
go watch
Me?
my
Have you seen the haram ball Arsenal have been playing recently? Like those guys
Bro,
Arsenal have been playing around ball, and they are winning, and they are
They're
winning.
matured up. Guys,
No,
you see the low block.
oh my god,
They are
Jesse, do you
winning.
know what I said to somebody the other day? Like something very peculiar is that like Chelsea, we can play so well and we won't win.
And lose.
Yeah.
Whereas
That's
other
just-
teams like
that's just
Man
how
U,
it
Arsenal, they can play complete shit
Trash
and
and
they bag
win.
points.
That's how
United-
you finish it. United play
Anyways,
hideous ball
Jesse,
and they
where
win.
do you see Chelsea coming?
Like
I see
Chelsea
us
have
finishing.
the game of their lives to get 3 points, and I don't understand why. Like it doesn't make sense.
The mentality P though, like it's like when you have
We
killers.
haven't
in your
won
team.
in a while, bro. Trust me, like we
Killers
just
in your
haven't.
team.
We haven't normalized winning, bro. Like winning
Arsenal,
for these guys is.
Arsenal have a killer mentality in the team. They don't need much to get that goal.
Yeah.
Same with Man City.
Like
Yeah.
Arsenal are winners now. Like they want to
Like
win
Chelsea,
every
you're dealing
game.
with you squad. These are not 21s we're playing.
Yeah, Chelsea. These guys can go 1-0 down. It's like, we'll show fight if we win. If we don't win, it's
You
like,
know what? They
like,
tried against Liverpool. I won't lie.
they tried.
A blessing and a curse. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good
I see us finishing. If I'm being a completely realistic fan, I see us finishing fourth. But if I'm being optimistic, third is a very good finish. But on contrary, if Nicolas Jackson scores 15 goals, and Sterling scores 15, we're winning the league. Yeah, end the
I think
podcast.
we get ahead.
We're winning the league.
Win.
We're winning the league.
It's okay.
End the
That's what
podcast,
we end
end
the
the podcast.
podcast. Thank you guys.
We're
Thank
winning
you
the
guys
league.
for coming on.
We're winning the podcast.
Just